السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى أهله وأصحابه ومن تبعه بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، يقول الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us to Surah Al-Hajj بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. My dear brother and sister of Islam, I began by saying all praises, all gratitude, and all thanks belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we seek refuge from the sin that we commit and the faults within ourselves. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide, no one could misguide. And whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leave astray, no one could guide. We bear witness there is no deity worthy to worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we bear witness indeed Prophet Muhammad alayhi afdal wa aska salam, his final and his last messenger. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless Prophet Muhammad and his follower and whoever follow him until the day of judgment. Allahumma ameen. I share with you one verse from Surah Ali Imran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us, O you believe, fear Allah as he should be feared, and die not unless you are in a state of Islam. The second verse I shared with you from Surah Al-Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he addressed us a little bit differently. And instead of he saying, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, he says, Ya ayyuha nas. When he says, Ya ayyuha nas, you better open your ears wider, because he's talking to every human being regardless who you are, Muslim or non-Muslim, that means something is heavy coming in. And what does he say? O mankind, fear your Lord. The quake of the hour is a tremendous thing. What is the quake of the hour? The quake of the hour is Yawm al-Qiyamah, Yawm al-Hisab. It's a tremendous thing. It's something so big. On that day, and he described what is going to happen on that day. What is going to happen on that day? He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran al-Kareem, every suckling mother will desert her child. And every pregnant woman will either have a miscarriage or deliver. And the people will appear they are intoxicated, drunk. But in fact, they are not drunk or intoxicated, but the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so severe. My dear brother and sister of Islam, today's khutbah, I decided to talk about how to thank Allah and how important to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His bounty and mercy on us. A couple of weeks ago, here in the United States, a lot of people, they were thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for His mercy and for His guidance and abundant of food. And they decide to do that every year, and they called it Thanksgiving. Who are they thanking? They are thanking the giver, actually. They are thanking the giver. So who is the giver? And the one and only Allah, which was something so great. So I decided to see how is this got started, Thanksgiving, and what it's all about. So I would like to share that with you today, and we move on to our khutbah, inshallah. In 1620, a group of pilgrims, they did not like to stay in England. And they did not like the rules and regulation. They felt it's unfair. So they decided, most of them, they said, hey, let us get a boat and bail out of England and head toward United States. And they left on a boat, it's called Mayflower. During the trip, they faced a lot of hurdles. The weather was rough and tough on them. A lot of them died on the boat. And by the time they got there, it was really tough trip for them. And a lot of elderly people died. And then they decided to make that home. And some of them, because of the severe weather, unbearable weather, they were thinking to go back to England because they felt that they made the wrong choice. And after a while, they start trying to plant food, to do hunt and fishing, and a lot of young children there, they had no experience. And the older people, they passed away. Allah, with His mercy on them, He decided to send them a Native American person to help them and guide them and to tell them how to plant and what to do. And sure enough, after this person started teaching them how to plant and how to hunt and how to fish, they wound up with a lot of abundant food, and they were so happy and blessed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He sent them that person. And then they decided to thank Allah and to thank that person as well. They gathered and they made a celebration to thank him. And then afterwards, they said, hey, I think we should do that periodically, to thank Allah and to thank that person, because they were so blessed. And then they started doing it every year. And they were so grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for what He had done for them and sending that person. Later on, President Abraham Lincoln, he decided to make it a national holiday to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is something so great, so beautiful when I learned that story. So I decided to share it with you today. So brother and sister, as Muslim, we must thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not once a week, not once a month or once a year. We need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for every breath we are taking. Because we do not know if we're going to live the second day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He give us abundance of food. I want you to imagine, truly imagine with me one thing. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given you, your morning meal is corn. And your afternoon is corn. And at night is corn, and you got water, and that's it. Nothing else. How would it have been? Would you get tired of eating corn every single day? Look around you, brother and sister. How many kinds of fish in the ocean for you and I and everyone to eat? If you try to count only the fish, you will not even get a fraction of it to count how many kind of fish. If you try to count how many meat, different kind of meat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us to eat. Some of them, they are flying birds, animals. In the sea, there are so many different kind of meat for our choice. How many kind of fruit? How many kind of, out of the regular water, you can make a different flavor of drinks. We got to be very, very thankful to all this bounty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given us. Because there's no way we can count Him, brother and sister. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us في سورة النحل بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الله لغفور رحيم. If you try to count the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you cannot count them. So we need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for every move. You notice the first surah in the Holy Quran. It starts with what? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first thing. Why is put there? The first thing you read in the Holy Quran is put for a reason. That's to mean thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is extremely important. After I did my research, wallahi, I was so touched and surprised how important to Allah to thank Him is very important. We're going to go deeper on it, inshallah, if we have the time. Also, when you start praying, every single day you're praying at least 17 times, at least you recite Al-Fatiha 17 times a day. And you say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Do you understand the meaning and what you are saying? And is it really coming out of your heart? Thanking Allah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Or do you say it without understanding the meaning? In order to get the ultimate reward of it, say it out of your heart and understand the meaning. Very, very important. And then after this, after we say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and we go to the dua, the end of the Fatiha, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم, and so on. And then the Imam say Ameen. Some of us will say it loudly with passion. Some of us, they are shy to say it, or they don't say it, or they space it out. You understand when you say Ameen, you are in agreement of the dua you just heard. You want part of that dua you are in agreement and you want part of that dua. So when you hear Ameen, say it with passion. Say it coming out of your heart. Also, you notice every khatib starts his khutbah. What does he start with? إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره. So another word, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided Prophet Muhammad to make it a demand on every khatib when he starts is to thank Allah. So what do we understand now? We understand it's really important. Thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believe me, is very, very important. And then also the khatib, when he ends up his khutbah, He reminds us with the same thing he started with. And what is it? اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزيدكم. And toward the end of the khatib, he says that. So look at how important it is. Before salah, you are thanking Allah. Some of you are aware and some of you are not. And the khatib when he starts and the khatib when he ends. It tells you it's very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brother and sister, He blessed us from the day we were born, from our mother's womb. He gave us a lot of blessing. And He gave us tongue to speak with. He gave us ears to hear with. He gave us heart to keep us going. And we need to say, thank you, Lord, for giving us these things. Because not everyone have them. Let me share with you from Surah Al-Nahl. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله أخرجكم من بطون أمهاتكم لا تعلمون شيئا وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة لعلكم تشكرون. He gave you this bounty that you may say thank you. لعلكم, that you may say thank you. And He, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants to recognize Him and say, thank you, Lord, for giving me this, the hearing, the eyes to see, and able to walk. And when you see someone crippled on a wheelchair in the street, you better say, Alhamdulillah, that God is giving me the opportunity that I can walk, and this person on a wheelchair. And that person on a wheelchair, he's supposed to be very thankful to Allah that he is sitting on a wheelchair. Because there's another person sitting on a bed, cannot even sit on a wheelchair. So there is degree of everyone have. That reminds me the time of the Sahaba. Ayyam Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one person is laying in bed. No legs, no arms, no sight. And what he's saying, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Ashkurak ya Rabb. Another person walks into the room. Why you are thanking Allah? You have no legs, no arms, and you cannot see. What is the answer? He answered. And thanking Allah for the breath and still taking, inhaling and exhaling. Do you see that? And do you know there's people cannot even breathe on their own? Like my father-in-law, before he passed away, in the last few months, he was on a machine. If you remove the machine, he dies. So the person is laying in the bed without arm and legs and sight. Don't you think he should thank Allah that he's not using a machine? So we have to be thankful for everything and everything we have and to appreciate it, especially when you see someone less fortunate than us. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is capable to make everyone healthy. But you know what? He's having these hurdles on the others. This way you say, thank you, Lord. Alhamdulillah. Ashkurak ya Rabbil Alameen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He loves al-abd al-shakur. There's a big difference between shakir wa shakur. ما هو الفرق? What is the difference between shakir wa shakur? Shakir is the one he received, when he received good from Allah or ease, and he said, Alhamdulillah, Ashkurak ya Rabbil Alameen, thank you, Lord. But when he had harm or difficulties, he does not thank Allah. Who is a shakur? A shakur, the one he remember Allah when he have a hardship, or also he have ease. Both ways he thanked al-wahid, al-awwal, al-akhir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the shakur. Allahumma ja'alna minhum ya Rabbil Alameen. Brother and sister, and also let me share with you from Surah Saba, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. اعملوا آل داود شكرا وقليل من عبادي الشكور. اعملوا آل داود شكرا وقليل من عبادي الشكور. It's very little. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, it's not very much of my ibadi, my worshipper, they are a shakur. There's a lot of them, they are shakir. But He wants us to be a shakur, to remember Him in the difficulties and the ease. Allahumma ja'alna min al-muttaqin. I want to share with you a quick story. Some of you may have heard it before, and some of you will hear it for the first time. Please pay attention to this. There's a family, the family called Khutbah family. And they lived in Mission Viejo. A mother of 3 toddlers. They are all around 5, 4 years old. I believe there were 2 girls and 1 boy, or 2 boys and 1 girl. And one of them, it was their birthday. And then after the mother, she took her mom with her and the 3 children, and they went to celebrate. And then at the way home, between Oso and La Paz on the freeway on Mission Viejo, the freeway came to complete stop. A big semi-truck, 18-wheeler, loaded with goods, could not stop on time. And then it ran to the rear of the SUV, and it was major accident. Ambulance took him to different hospital because the trauma, the one hospital cannot take this type of accident. They have to separate them because it was serious, and you're gonna hear. They went to and then the mother was unconscious from the head. The father is at work. The father received his first call. You need to come to the hospital. Your wife got in a serious accident, and please come in. Is everyone okay? We will tell you when you come in. Please come in. He arrived at the hospital. They took him to a special room, and the doctor calmed him down, sit down, give him water. I'm sorry to share with you, your son died from an accident. And then a few minutes, another doctor, I'm sorry to tell you, your other son died in the accident. But your wife is struggling and still alive. And he received another call from a different hospital because they separated him. And then he gets on the phone, I'm sorry to tell you, your daughter died. We cannot help her. It is Yahweh. You're right. That man was playing with his children before he went to work, and he come home, he found everything is upside down, inside out. The 3 children is gone, and his wife in critical situation. I want you to visualize and put yourself in this man's position. How would you handle it? And then what happened? After he calmed him down, and then later on, the wife recovered, came conscious and aware. And where's my children? I'm sorry, they all gone. Can you imagine this happened? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees this. And then the wife recovered fully. And here is the beautiful news. Beautiful news. Later on, the wife, she gets pregnant a year later, and guess what? I hope you already guessed it in your mind. She gets pregnant with triplet. And they are the same gender. Back on track. Back on track. And I want you to check what I just said on YouTube. Say, the Khutbah family. Or you could describe what you heard. You're going to see it on a lot of channels. What did I tell you this? What do we learn from this? We learn, brother and sister, and why this person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I believe he passed a test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was testing him. He was not bitter and upset and angry over this. Of course, there's a hardship, but he's not bitter with Allah. He accepted Allah's decision and he passed the test. I wonder if we were in his position, we would have passed that test. This is why I shared that with you. And now they have 3 beautiful children and their life back on track. So we need to learn from these kind of things, brother and sister. Also, I would like to go quickly with you. Remember the wildfire? It was on the city of Paradise. The wildfire in the city of Paradise, actually the name is hell on earth. It was hell on earth. When you see, and I don't know how much of you have seen it, but I'll describe for you. I've seen it on television numerous times on YouTube. Everything is burning. Thousands of homes is lost. Hundreds of people died and burned in the fire. And I remember one lady vividly, God help her, and alhamdulillah he did. She was literally crying and begging. She was surrounded with fire. Every direction around her with fires. And she was begging, oh God, oh my Lord, God help me. And her children in the background crying. And then here, finally, she got down of the mountain and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted her prayer and He led her to go through the fire, to go through out of that mountain. So here, and a lot of them died, and some of them, alhamdulillah, they were very thankful. And after the fire, what happened? Major rain like what we had yesterday, and a flood and stuff coming in on them. And a lot of them, they were very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ja'alna min, and everyone that we are thanking, al-wahid, al-ahad, al-qawi, al-jabbar. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إن الله هو الغفور الرحيم. Now, brother and sister, we understood how important to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to go quickly how we are, when we thanking one another, sometimes you tell a person, thank you, brother, with your hand like this. And sometimes you shake his hand and you put the left hand over the right hand to see sincerity. And sometimes you hug him and you say, thank you, brother, thank you very much, to express your gratitude to that person. If he fed you, if he helped you, whatever he have done for you, you want to express your sincere appreciation. Now, if you want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how are you going to do that? It's completely different. How are you going to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The way to thank Him, brother and sister, number one, you have to be very humble and sincere of what you are saying, and respectful to what you are saying and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and attentive and focus of your dua or thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and appreciative what He have given you, sincere appreciation. And also to express that you have to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's order, whatever He told us in the Holy Quran. This is how you can thank Him. And also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to translate our thanks into action. And what action Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expect from us? If He give you health, help other with your health. Like for example, you see someone fell down on the ground and you're strong. Put that person, stand him up. If you have a person, his car broke down in the signal light, and you're strong, help him to push it. This is, you could use your health of helping others. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you wealth. If you have extra money, give to the poor and the needy. This is how you put your things in action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you knowledge. I have a doctorate degree, or you're an engineer and you understand things, and your neighbor have an issue and you know what to do. Walk over there, hey, neighbor, what is the problem? What do you have? Oh, I have this issue here. Oh, you could call this person or you do this. Because you have knowledge, he doesn't. This is how you can put your thanks to action, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brother and sister, he told Prophet Muhammad alayhi afdal salatu wa salam في سورة البقرة بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. Hey Muhammad, if my servant asks you about me, tell them I am near. I will respond to their call. So ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-Ghani. He's rich. And when you ask for the Firdaus al-A'la. Don't go any lower. He can put everyone in Firdaus al-A'la. He is rich. He said it in the Holy Quran. So go for the best. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us in Surah Al-Mu'min, Ghafir, وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. It means whoever be arrogant and does not want to ask Allah because he feels he's so rich. This is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you may go to the hellfire. So always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you whatever you need and thank Him at all times. Bismillah. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم اعفو عنا وعن آبائنا وأمهاتنا من عذاب النار وتوفنا مع الأبرار يا منزل الماء من السماء يا منزل الماء من السماء يا من قلت للنار كوني بردا وسلاما على إبراهيم يا من تقول للشيء كن فيكون اعفو عنا وارحمنا وارض عنا يا رحمن يا رحيم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار يا مجيب الدعاء يا الله ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وأنصرنا على القوم الكافرين يا مالك يوم الدين يا قوي يا عزيز يا جبار أدخلنا جنة الفردوس الأعلى اللهم آمين عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزيدكم وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة كانت على المؤمنين كتابا موقوتا
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وإذ تأذن ربكم لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم ولئن كفرتم إن عذابي لشديد. وقال موسى إن تكفروا أنتم ومن في الأرض جميعا فإن الله لغني حميد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والله أخرجكم من بطون أمهاتكم لا تعلمون شيئا وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة لعلكم تشكرون. ألم يروا إلى الطير مسخرات في جو السماء ما يمسكهن إلا الله إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Insyaallah.